All right, everybody on the inside, come on in, get a good seat, and let's go. All right, take a look right here. 174 now five. 174 now five. Money 575. 175. 175. 175. Five five. Four now five. 175. Get it. Five. Five. 174. Marty 17. 140 now one, everybody one, another one. 140 now one, money one, two, three, four, five, 6, 147, 48, 49, 149, 50, 151, 151, everybody one, another one, another one, 150, Lone Star one. It's happening. 145, $46, 45, money $6, $146, $6, $7, $7, $8, $8, 9, 150, 150, 51, 51, 52, 53, 53, 153, 33, 3, 152, Lone Star. One 170 now one, every one, one. 170 now money one, two, $1, $8. 171 now two, now two, now two, now two, now two, three, four, five, 74, five, $6, $7, $78, $79, $9, 80, 179 show 100. Okay. 140 now one, everybody one, one. On the money now one, 41, everybody one, 141, everybody one, everybody one, 140. Marty, Tom one, Tom number one. It's happening. 85 at $6. 85, 86, 7, 8, 88, 9, 90, a bit of 1, a bit of 2, a bit of 3, a bit of 4, a bit of 5, 96, 7, 97, 98, 99, $9, $1, 2, 3, a bit of 4, a bit of 5, a bit of 6, a bit of 7, 8, 108, 9, 99, a bit of 8, $9, 8, bit of 8, 9, bit of 8, 9, bit of 8, 9, 108, Marty 13. It's happening. 105, $6. 105, $106, $6, $5, $6. 5, 6, $5, $6. 105 at 85, 80. Got a little bump on her face there. 85, $86. 85, 86, money 6. 85, 86, 86, 86, 86, 85, fried 2. 790, he would $1, $1, on the money now one. $90 down one, he would $1, $1, 91, $90 now one, he would $1, $1, 90 Tom one, 90 Tom one. By the head here, by the head. 250 now 75. 250 by the head now 75. 250 by the head 75. 275 by the head. 250, 275, 75, 200 now quarter. 200 now quarter. On the money now quarter. Quarter could have been 200 quarter. 200 now 25. Now 50. 250, 275. 275. 250 now 75. 75, 75. $250. Tom 3. Tom 3. Sell choice out of the pile. Pick what you like. 220 now two, 220 now $2, 220 on the money now 24, 224 now $6, 226, 28, $30, 230 now two, now 4, now 4, now 4, now 4, 6, 236, 8, 38, 42, but the 4, but the 6, but the 6, 246, 8, 248, 250, 250 now 2, 252, 22, but the $2 now 4, but the 4, now 6, 256, 56, 58, 58, $60, 262, 22, 44, but the 6, but the 8, 268, 70, but the 2, but the 2, 2, 4, 74, your choice, 676, 78, 280, with a bit of 282, with a bit of 4, with a bit of 86, about 88, 290, with a bit of 2, 290, 24, 94, 96, 96, 96, 96, 294, capital 31. Choice again. 220, not 2, 1020, 24, 226, 8, $30, $2, $4, $6, 8, 40, bit of 2, bit of 4, bit of 6, 8, bit of 50, 250, 246, 256, 1054, 68, 62, 4, bit of 64, 264, 446, bit of 6, 8, 268, 70, 72, bit of $2, now 24, 74, 6, 76, 78, bit of 278, 278, 278, 276, lady, number 95. $2 now two, $2 now two, $2 94. 1 arbo 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 22. 224, 6, 8, but a bit of 30, but 2, but a 4, 6, 8, but a bit of 40, 242, 4, 6, but 8, but a bit of 248. One arbo 248, 246, $8, $8, 8, 246. Shoot 7, 7. He wants a spot. $2 now two. $2 now two. $2 two. $2 now two. On the money. Now 2. Now 4. Now 6. Now 8. Now 10. 212. 212. 214. Bit of 16. Bit of 18. Bit of 20. Bit of 2. Bit of 4. 226. 228. 228. 230. Bit of 2. Bit of 4. Bit of 34. 34. 34. 34. 34. 34. 232. Fry number 28. So big one, big spot. 7.5, 190, now 5, 190, now 5, 190, now 5, 190, 2.5, now 5, but 95, now 7.5, $2, 2.5, but 205, 205, 27.5, 10, 12.5, 15, with a bit of 79, but 20, 220, 2.5, 5, but a bit of 7.5, 30, with a bit of 2.5, but a bit of 5, 37.5, 40, with a bit of 240, 240, 240, 240, 240, 2.5, 240, 5, 5, with a bit of 7.5, but a bit of 250, 2.5, 52, 55, 7.5, 260, 2.5, now 5 or 7.5, 70, but a 2.5, but a bit of 5, 77.5, 80, but a bit of 280, 80, but a bit of 2.5, but a bit of 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2, but a bit of 2.5, 280, 2.5. 280, Brian Hoffman 2. Brian Hoffman 2. Over there, $3. Now 5. $3. Now 5, 10, 15, 25, 35, 40, 345. 350. Now 5. Now 16. Now 5. Now 70. Bit of 75. 80. Bit of 5. Bit of 390. Bit of 95. $4. Bit of $4. $4. 395. $4. $4. 5. 405. 10. 10. 10. 15. 20. Bit of 420. Now 420. 425. Bit of 30. Bit of 5. Bit of 40. Bit of 5. Bit of 445. 445. 440. Lady number 102, 82. Is that right? 82. Lady 82. 270, now 5, 270. By the scale, 5, money, 5, 80, better 5, 90, better 5, and a 3.5, now 55, 60, 365, 370, 370, 370, 375, and 80, better 80, better 385, 85, 85, 385, 85, and 85, 90, better 95, better 95, $4, $4, 5, and 10, and better 15, better 20, better 5, better 425, 420, Brian Hoffman 2, Brian Hoffman 2, 70, 170, now 2, $170, $2, 172, 2, 4, $46, 78, 82, 84, 86, 88, 90, 192, 192, 4, 196, 96, 98, $2, 2, 4, 68, 208, 10, 12, 14, 16, 218, 220, 220, 220, 218, 22, 220, Marty 11, 120, now 1, 120 on the money. Now 1, 2, 4, 26, 28, $30, $2, $4, $6, $8, 40, 2, 4, 7, 8, 50, 152, 4, 152, 4, 6, about 56, 58, 162, $2, $4, 162, 4, 6, $8, $8, 70, $2, 170, Tom, 1, 270, now 2, $270, $2, 4, 76, 78, 82, 84, 84, 86, 88, 90, 292, 4, 96, 96, 98, $3, 2, 4, 3, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 3, 22, 4, 26, 28, 30, 2, 34, 34, 36, 38, 40, 2, 4, 44, 3, 46, 6, 8, 3, 48, 50, 3, 52, 4, 6, 8, 60, 362, 362, 360, lady 93, lady 93. African $2.95, $2.95, $2 on the money, 5, 10, 15, 20, 55, 30, 55, 40, now 5, now 50, 250, 250, 250, 245, 250, 250, now 5, 255, 60, 260, 255, D&D 93, D&D 93. Raising that kid. Okay, weigh the cow, weigh the cow. $135, $136, $135, $96, $6, $35, $36, $7, $38, $38, $38, $38, $9, $40, $1, $43, $4, $44, now 4, now 4, now 4, now 4, $143 Lone Star. It's 7.5, 330, now 5, 330, now 5, 45, 55, 60, 55, 70, 5, 80, 5, 90, 5, $4, $4, $4, $4, $4, $4, $4, 5, 405, 10, 10, 15, 20, 425, 25, 25, 420 Ritter, 420 Ritter. By the head here, by the head. 425, 425 on the money, now 25. 425 by the head. 400, now 25, 25, 25, 425, 425, 25, $400 a head. Tom 3, Tom 3. Got a steer, 7 140 now 5, 140 now 2.5, money 5, 7.5, 52 and 55, 7.5, $60, 2.5, 5, 67, 70, 2.5, now 5, 7.5, 80, 2.5, 85, 85, 7.5, 90, 190, 2.5, 55, 195, 7.5, 197, 7.5, number $2, $2, 2.5, 2, 2.5, 5, 205, 205, 7.5, 10, 10, 12.5, 12.5, 212.5, 212.5, 210, Marty 45, Marty 45. 240, now 2.5, 240, now 2.5, on the money, now 2.5, 240, 2.5, 240, now 25, 45, 45, 7.5, now 50, now 2.5, 55, 7.5, 257, 60, 2.5, now 5, now 7, 70, 2.5, 55, 7.5, 80, 2.5, 85, 85, 285, 285, 7.5, 290, 90, 90, 2.5, 295, 95, 97, now $3, $3, $3, 2.5, 2.5, 305, 7.5, 10, 10, 12.5, 15, 15, 79, 20, 320, 2.5, 325, 7.5, 30, 330, 2.5, 25, 35, 7.5, 337.5, 335, lady number 94, lady 94. 230, now 2.5, now 5, 235, 235, 7.5, 40, 2.5, 45, 45, 7.5, 250, 250, 2.5, 55, 55, 55, 7, $60, 2.5, now 5, 65, 7.5, 70, 2.5, 25, 7.5, 280, 280, 280, 2.5, 85, 85, 87, 87, 90, 290, 290, 2.5, now 5, 95, 97, 7.5, $3, $3, 2.5, 25, 7.5, 10, 10, 10, 310, 310, 310, 307.5, Marty 46, Marty 46. 225, 227, 25, 27, 225, money 79, 31, 33, 35, 37, 39, 239, 41, 241, 243, 333, 5, 7, 247, not a better 7, not a 7, not a 7, not a 7, not a 7, 245, Nolan 20, 27, Nolan 27. 7 and a half, $2, now 2 and a half, $2 2, 5, 7, 8, 10, 12 and a half, 15, 17, 20, 2 and a half, but a 5, but a 7 and a half, but a 30, 232 and a half, 35, 37 and a half, 42, 42 and a 5, 47 and a half, 250, 2 and a half, but a 250, 2 and a half, 250, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 250, Nolan, 29. Still heifer going out. Oh, there, 280, now 5, money 5, 95, $3, 5, but a 10, but a 15, 315, 20, but a 5, but a 325, 320, 30, but a 330, now 5, but a 40, but a 340, 337 half, 37 half, 37 half, 335, lady 93, lady 93, 330, now 5, 330, now 5, 330, now 5, but a 32 and a half, money 2 and a half, 5, but a 35, 7 and a half, 40, but a 340, 2 and a half, but a 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 340, lady 94, lady 94, 7 and a half, $3 now 5, $3 now 5, 10, and a 15, 25, and a 35, and a 45, 55, 65, and a 70, 375, 80, 80, 380, 375, 80, 80, 5, and a 80, 90, but a 5, but a 4, not a 5, 4 and 5, 10, 15, but a 20, but a 420, 420, 415, Russell 3, Russell 3. Sell the big one, little boy, 320, now 5, 30, 330, 325, now 30, 30, 30, 325, now 30. Sell the big one there, 330, 30, 30, 35, 40, 5, 50, 350, 350, 350, 345, D&D, 45. It's happening 350, now 5, money 5, but 350, now 5, 350, now 5, but 355, 65, and 75, but 80, but 5, but 90, but 5, 95, $4 now 5, 10, 15, but 20, but 5, but 425, 430, but 5, but 435, 35, 35, 35, 430, D&D 31. Tell the bull there, 7 and a half, $3 now, 5, 10, 15, 15, 310, 315, 10, 15, 15, 15, 15, 315, 315, 315, 310, D&D, number 53. 7 and a half, $2.70, now 5, $270, now 5, 270, 2 and a half, money, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 270, 25, 7 and a half, 80, 2 and a half, 7 and a half, 90, 290, 90, 287, 90, 2 and a half, 95, 97 and a half, $3, 2 and a half, 5, 305, 305, 305, 302 and a half, D&D 93. Sell 2 heifers, $3.40, now 5, 345, money, 5, but 50, but 5, 360, now 5, now 70, but 5, but 80, but 5, but 385, 85, 90, 95, but $4, but 5, but 10, but 15, but 420, now 5, but 425, 30, 30, 30, 430, 430, 430, 425, lady number 82, lady 82, 7 and a half, 380, now 5, 380, money, 5, 95, $4, 5, 10, 15, 20, by 5, 430, now 5, now 40, now 5, now 50, now 5, 465, 475, 80, 85, 485, 480, 5, 480, D&D 32, D&D 32, 7 and a half, 190, now 2, 190, $2, 190, money, 2, $2, 4, 94, 96, 98, $2, 204, 206, $206, $8, $8, $10, 12, 214, 16, 18, 218, 22, 4, 226, 228, 30, 2, 4, 6, 38, 238, 238, 38, 38, 38, 238, 236, H, 81, 71, 8, just 8, H, number 8. Yeah, two big one, 7 and a half, and 8, 2, 15, now 5. On the money, 5, and 65, 75, and 275, 80, but 280, 85, 85, 90, but 92, 90, now 5, but 95, $3, but 5, 305, 305, 305, 5, 5, 5, 5, but 5, $3, and Nolan 56, Nolan 56. 7 and a half, $3.20, now 5, 325, 35, 45, 55, but 355, 355, 350, now 5, 350, now 5, 350, 2 and a half, 5, but 55, 55, 55, 355, 55, 55, 355, 352 and a half, lady number 9, 4. $250 now 5, $250 now 5, $255 money 5, but $250 now 5, $60, $575, $80, but $280, $280, $275, $80, $80, $80, but $280, $280, $280, $280, $275 D&D 94. Seven here, 330 now 5, 330 now 5, 330 now 5, money 540, but 5, but 50, 350 now 50, now 50, now 50, now 5, but 60, 360, but 5, but 5, 360, 570, but 70, but 375, 375, 55, but 5, 370, Lady 94, Lady 94. Got a steer, 7 and a half, 320 now 5, 320 now 5, money 530, but 330 now 5, but 40, 340, but 5, 340 now 5, 555, but 345, 340, Simpson 65. Okay, got a little knot on his front right shoulder. By the head, 300, now 25. 300, now 25. 300, money, 25. 325 by the head, 50. 350, 375, 400. 400 and a quarter. 4 and a quarter, 490, 75. Now 500. 500, now quarter. 500 and a quarter. 5 and a quarter. 5 by the head, half. 575. 600 by the head. $600, $600, $600, 600. 575 by the head. Lady straight, lady. Heifer mate, 7 and a half, 320, now 5, 35, 45, 55, 65, 70, 370, 70, 70, 365, 70, 70, 370, 370, 370, 365, D&D 4. Seven here, 290 now 5, 290 now 5, money 5, 290 now 5, 290 now 5, but 95, 95, 295, 95, $93, $3, $3, but now 5, but 3, 5, 10, 10, 10, 15, 15, 20, 320 now 5, 320, but about 2 and a half, 320, 2 and a half, 320, 2 and a half, 320, D&D 24. Okay, Curry Jones on your pass out that triangle 5 and 7 way. 230, now 5, 230, 5, 45, 55, 60, 55, 265, 260, 2 and a half, 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 260, Nolan 27. African $2, now 40, now 2 and a half, 240, 2 and a half, 5, 7 and a half, 250, now 2 and a half, 55, 7 and a half, $60, 260, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 5, but 65, 7 and a half, 260, 7 and a half, 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 265, Capital 94. Okay, Copeland Cattle, Sterling City. They've had a Virus Shield 6 and 7-way West Somnus. 280, now 2 and a half, 280, now 2 and a half, 85, 285, 7 and a half, 290, now 2 and a half, 95, 97 and a half, 7 and a half, $3, $3, $3, $3, 297 and a half, $3, but $3, $3, $3, $3, $3, $3, $3, 297 and a half, Capital 94. Well, same good cattle. It's happening. 230, now 2.5, 5, 35, 35, 230, 2.5, 35, 35, 35, 235, 7.5. Now 40, now 2.5, but a 7.5, 250, but a 2.5, but a 5, 7.5, 60, 260, 2.5, 5, 7.5, 70, 2.5, 5, 7.5, 270, 7.5, but a 7.5, 7.5, 7.5, 270, 7.5, 7.5, 7.5, 7.5, 275, H, 71. 7.5, 330, now 5, 330, now money, now 5, 40. Hold the big one, 550 with 5, 355, 60, 365, 70, but 5, 80, 388, 380, 377 half, 377 half, 75, 7 half, 7 half, 7 half, 375, lady 93, lady 93, $3 now 5, $3, 5 money 5, 5, 5, $3, 5, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 15, 20, 5, 325, 320 now 5, 5, 5, 25, 320, capital 92. Sears right off Copeland Cattle, Sterling City. I got the goods. 310, 12.5, 310, 312.5, 310, money 12.5, 310, 312.5, 310, 12.5, 310, 12.5, money's down 12.5, 15, 315, 17.5, 17.5, 317.5, 317.5. Now 20, but 2.5, 320, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 320, 2.5, 320, 2.5, 320, D&D 50. 7.5, 280, not 2.5, 280, but 2.5, money, 2.5, 85, 7.5, but 287.5, 90, 90, 2.5, 90, 2.5, 290, 2.5, 290, but 2.5, 290, 2.5, 290, 290, 290, 290, 290, capital 31. It's I'm gonna sell big one, 240, now 2.5, 245, 7.5, 250, 250, 250, 2.5, 55, 7.5, $60, 2.5, now 5, now 7.5, 70, 2.5, 5, 75, 270, 7.5, 77, 80, 280, 280, 80, 280, 270, 7.5, Nolan 27, $3, now 5, $3 money, 5, $3, 2.5, 7.5, 3, 7.5, 10, 12.5, 15, 79, 79, 20, 320, 320, 320, 320, 317.5, Simpson 65. Oh, there, 320, now 2.5, 320 on the money, 2.5. Money's down, 2.5, but a 320, 2.5, 2.5, 5, but a 325, 7.5, 327.5, 327.5, 7.5, 7.5, 7.5, 7.5, 327.5, 325. Simpson 65. 7.5, 280, now 5, 285, money 5, 285, 95, now $3, now 5, 10, 15, 315, 312.5, 310, 312.5, 12.5, 12.5, 310, D&D, number 50. What's been weighing 40 to 45 days. Gonna sell 3 big ones, weighing 40 to 45 days. 325, 330, 325, money 30, 325, 330, 330, but my money down 30, but 330, 330, 330, 330, and a 5, but 40, 340, 335, now 40, now 40, now 40, 335, capital number 35. 330, now 5, 330, now 5, money 5, 40, but 5, but 55, but 6, 55, 355, 360, but 5, but 365, 70, now 5, but 72 and a half, but 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 370, 2.5, 2.5, but 2.5, 370, D&D 5, D&D 34, D&D 34. 240, sell white one, 240, now 5. Crossbred right there, 240, now 5, money 5. 245, going on, 250, but 50, now 5, but 255, 255, 60, but 5, but 65, 70, but 270, $270, $70, 70, 265, lady 94, lady 94, $3, now 5, $3, now 5, 10, 15, 20, but 5, but 30, but 5, 340, now 5, now 50, 350, 350, 50, 355, 60, 365, 70, 370, 370, 370, 365, D&D 34. African $3 now, five money, five, $3 now, two and a half, $3, two and a half, two and a half, two, five, but a 3, a 5, 7 and a half, 10, but a 10, 12 and a half, 15, but a 17 and a half, but a 20, but a 2 and a half, but a 5, but a 327 and a half, 327 and a half, 327 and a half, 325, capital 21. Two little ones, sell two little ones, 320, now five, 320, now five, money five, but 320, now five, but 3, two little ones, 30, 330, 330, now five, now 40, but 40, 345, but 5, 50, but 50, 50, 50, 350, 350, 350, now five, 355, 355, 355, 355, 355, 355, 350, Letty, 93, Letty, 93, 70, 280, now five, 280, now money, five, but 280, now five, 285, 285, 285, but 90, but 5, but 95, 295, $3, but 5, but $3, now five, 305, 305, 305, $3, D&D 93, D&D 93. Steers. 370, now five, 370, now five, 370, now five, money five, 370, now five, 75, 370, now five, 80, 380, 80, 5, 85, 85, 385, 385, 380, two and a half, 390, 290, 380, Simpson 35. Okay, hold the littlest one. 375, 80, 375, 380. On money, 80, 80, 85, 85, 390, 90, 5, 95, 95, 95, 95, $4, $4.95, 55, $4.95, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 15, 415, 415. Have me if you want him. 415, 415, 20, 420, now 2.5, 420, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 425, 425, 7.5, 427.5, 427.5, 427.5, 427.5, 425, Simpson 35. He wants him. Sell three little ones, three little ones. Hold anyone you don't like. 350, now five. 350, now hold anyone you don't like. 350, now five. On the money, now five. 355, 60, 5, 70, 370, now five. 375, 75, 75, 75, 75, 375, 80, 80, 85, 5, 85, 90, 390, 95, 95, 395, 95. Hold anyone you don't like. 395, 95, 95, 390, Simpson 35. $330, now five. $330 on money, now $540, now five, now 50, now five. $355, 65, $365, 75, $80, $5, $90, $5, $95, $395, $95, $95, $390, D&D 34. Seven here, $4 now five, $4 now five. On the money five, 4 5, 10, 15, 20, 420, 415, 20, 20, 25, 30, 435, 40, 45, 450, 450, now 50, now five, 455, 60, 465, 70, 70, 70, 475, 475, 75, 75, 75, 75, 470. Letty, show your weight on them, Mandy, please. They go to Letty. 330, now five, 330, now five, money five, 335, 330, now five, 382, 335, got the money, 35, 335, 330, capital 42. Okay, head 8-way shot. 360 now 5. 360 now 5. Money 5. 360 now 5. 365 70. 370 65 70. 370 370 now 5. 375 70 2 and a half. 370 2 and a half. 370 2 and a half. 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 370 capital number 45. It's 290 now 5. 290 now 5. 290 on the money now 5. 290 now 5. 295 95 95 95 95 95 295 295 290 capital 90. 330 now 5. 330 money 5. 330 now 5. 330 now 5. 35 330 now 5. 330 Simpson 35. Steers 370 now 5. 370 now 5. 375 2 and a half. 370 2 and a half. 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 370 2 and a half. 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 370 2 and a half. 360 now 2 and a half. 360 on the money 2 and a half. 2 and a half now 5. 65 65 7 and a half. 367 and a half. 367 and a half. 7 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 and a half. 365 capital 45. Selling one black bull on the rail there. 7 half, $3 now 5. One black bull, $3 now 5. Mighty 510. 310, 10, 10, 10, 5, 10. $10, 10, 10, 310. 35, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. 305, D&D 93. 94 in it, 94. Sell a heifer, black heifer, 310, 12 and a half, 310, 312 and a half, 310, money, 12 and a half, 310, 12 and a half, 310, 12 and a 15, 15, 79, 20, 322 and a 5, 25, 7 and a half, 330, 2 and a half, 5, 35, 37 and a half, 40, 2 and a half, 345, 7 and a half, 50, 352 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 350, capital 92. 7 here, $3.20 now 5, but $3.20 on the money 5. 30, 5, 40, 5, 350, 55, 355, 60, 365, 70, 375, 375, 55, 370, Simpson 35. All right, had Vision 7 and Pyramid 5, Mertz cattle. 280, not 2 and a half, 280, but about 2 and a half, 280, but about 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 280 on the money, now 2 and a half, 280, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, but about 280, but about 2 and a half, 280, now 2 and a half, my good one's here, 280, 2 and a half, 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 280, Nolan 26. 7 here, $4 now 5, $4 now money, now 5, 10, 15, 20, 5, 30, 5, 40, 440, now 5, 445, 5, 5, 50, 450, 450, now 50, now 50, now 50, 450, 450, 450, 445, lady number 82, 81, lady 81. 7 half, 315, 317, 315, 317, on the money, 17, 315, 317, 315, 317, 15, 17, 7 steers all the way, 315, 317, 15, 17, 17, 17, 317, 317, 317, 317, 317, 317, 315, Simpson 65. All right. I had a 7-way shot. 7 here, $3 now 5, $3 now 5, $3 now 5, $3 on the money now 5, $3 now 5, $3 2 and a half, $3 now 2 and a half, 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 $3 capital 35. 315, 17 half, 315, 7 money, 17 half, 315, 317 half, 20, 320, 2 and a half, 5, 25, 327 half, 325, 7 half, 325, 7 half, 7 half, 7 half, 7 half, 7 half, 327 half, 325, capital 35. Okay, you're buying 2 little blacks. What you buying, you doing it? 2 little blacks, 380, now 5, 380 on money, now 590, 5, $4.05, but 10, but 15, but 20, but 5, but 30, but 5, but 40, but 5, 455, 65, but 70, 475, 470, now 5, 5, 475, 470, D&D 31. 7 half, 360, now 5, 360, now 5, 5, but money, 5, but 370, but 5, 80, but 5, but 90, but 5, but $4, 10, 4 15, 410, 15, but 15, 15, 15, 15, 415, 415, 410, fry, 30. Hold one, big one. Hold one, big one. 370, now 5. 370, now 5. And I'm going to 370, now 5. 370, now 5. Holding one, big one. 370, now 5. 350, now 5. 350 on the money, now 5. 355. Money's down, 5. But I'm going to 355. 355, 55, 55, 55. And I'm going to 60, 5. 365. And I'm going to 5, 5, 5. And I'm going to 5. 365, 30. 7 half, 330, now 5. 330, now 5. 335, and then 5, 5, 330, now 5, 330, now 5, and 1 hit by the scale, 330, now 2 and a half, 330, 2 and a half, and 2 and a half, 310, 12 and a half, 310, 12 and a half, going on, 310, 312 and a half, money 12 and a half, 310, 12 and a half, 12 and a half, 12 and a half, 12 and a half, 310, Brian Hoffman. 3 little ones there, 3 little ones there, $3 now 5, money 5, 10, 15, 20, 5, 30, 5, 335, 45, 350, now 5, 355, 365, 375, 80, 5, 90, 5, $4, 5, 4 and 5, 10, 10, 15, 15, 15, 4, 15, 20, 420, now 5, 425, 25, 25, 25, 425, 420, D&D 19. 7 half, and then what you got? 290, no, 2 and a half, 290, but 2 and a half, money 2 and a half, 290, 2 and a half, 290, now 2 and a half, but 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 290, but 2 and a half, 290, 2 and a half, 290, D&D 93. African, 7 and a half, 320, now 5, 320, now 5, money 5, but 320, now 5, but 320, now 5, 5, but 330, but now 5, but 40, but 5, but 350, but 5, but 360, now 5, but 365, 5, 5, 360, gully 1, gully number 1. Okay, weaned 30 days and had a 7-weight shot. $4 now 5. $4 now 5. $4 now 5. $4 now little weaned cattle. $4 now 5. 5 money 5. But $4 now 5. 5 5. $4 now 5. $4 now 5. $4 now 5, $4 now 5, 5, 5, but 10, $10, 10, 15, 4, 15, 15, 15, 15, 15, 15, 20, 420, 420, now 5, 25, 25, 25, 25, 420, fry, 30. 2 big ones, 2 big ones. 330, now 5. 330, all money 5, but 330, now 5. 330, 5, 45, 45. 340, now 5, but 5, 5, 5, 5. 340, gully 1. African, 7 and a half, 370, now 5, money 5, 375, 5, 5, 370, now 5, 75, 80, 85, 385, 385, 385, 385, 85, 85, 385, 380, D&D 19, D&D 19, little short tail. It's happening at 220, now 5, money 5, 220, now 5, 35, 40, 240, 35, now 40, now 5, 50, 250, now 5, 60, 265, 75, 80, 285, 90, 295, $3, 5, 10, $10, 10, 15, 20, 325, 30, 335, 40, 345, 555, 345, 345, 340, lady number 94, 7. Hold up just a minute, Jordan. Okay, when you vaccinate, 290 now 5. 290 on money now 5. 5 but a 295. 290 now 5 but a 95 95 95 95 295 295 $3. 5 but a 305 throw 2.5 2.5 2.5 2.5 $3. Simpson number 7. Simpson 7, 270 now 5. 270 now 5. Money 5 at a 270 now 5. 270, 2.5, 5 at a 75, 7.5, 80 but a 2.5, but 85, 87 at 90, 2.5, 295, 95, 97 at $3, 2.5, 3.5, 7.5, 10, 12.5, 3, 12.5, 15, 317 but a 17.5, 17.5, 315, D&D number 93. Sell to them, 260 now, 2.5. 260, 2.5, now 5, 7, 70, 2.5, 7, 80, 2.5, 87, 90, but 290, 90, 90, 90, but 92, 90, 290, 290, 290, 290, 287, Shoat number 6. 220, now 2.5, 220, 2.5, 220, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 220, now 220, 2.5. Now I'm a 5, 7.5. Now 30, 230, 2.5, 230, 25, 35, 35, 37.5, 237.5, 40, 240, 240, 2.5, but a 5, but a 245, 247.8, 247.8, 247.8, 247.5, 245, capital 94. That's 7-way shot. That's a 7-way shot. 7.5, $2 now 2.5, $2 now 2.5 on the money now 2.5, 2.5, 5, 2.5, 7.5, 10, 12.5, 15, 7.5, 20, 2.5, 5, 27.5, 227.5, 30, 230, 2.5, 30, 2.5 now 5, 35, 35, 235, 235, 232.5, showed 8. Okay, big navel. 7.5, 170 now 5, 170 now 5, 170 now 5, 175, 5, 170 on the money. Now 5, now 5, now 5, now 5, now 5, 5, 5, 5, 75, 170 fry, number 28. $3.95, $3.95, money 5, 3, 5, 10, 10, 15, 20, but a 5, but a 30, but a 5, but a 340, now 5, 350, but a 50, now 50, now 50, now 50, 345, Liddy 94. Ropes cattle from Brady. Got in here last night, $4 now 5. $4 now 5, money 5, $4 now 5. $4 now 5, 5, 5, 5, $4 now 5, 10. 410, 15, 15, 15, 15, 15, 14, 15, 14, 15, 415, 410, fry 30, fry 30. Two more, pick T like 370 now 5. 370 on the money now 5. 370 now 5. That's on 2. 375. 5 5. 370 Simpson number 35. 7 here. 320 now 5. Money 5. 320 now 5. 320 now 5. 5 5. 320 now 5. 325. 325. 325. 320 D&D number 94. 330 now 5, 330 now 5, money 5, 330 now 5, 330, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 330, 2.5, 330, 2.5, 2.5, 25, 35, 35, 37.5, 340, 40, 2.5, 40, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 340, Simpson 65. 375, 80, but a 375, 380. 375, 80. You hold one, Jody. Hold one there. Hold one, everybody. 375, money 80. 380. Hold one, everybody. 375, 377 half. 377 half. 7 half, 780, but a 380, 2.5. Hey, 2.5, 380, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5. 380, Simpson 35. $340 now five, $340 now five. Hold your ticket, $340 now five, but $340 now five, $340, two and a half, $340, two and a half, $340, $340 on the money, two and a half, $340, two and a half, two and a half, two and a half, two and a half, $340, two and a half, $340 capital number 35 on the scales. That happened to 188, 189, 188, 89, 188, 189, 91, 91, 191. Everybody 1, 2, 92, 93, 92, 93, 94, 94, 194, 194, 94, 94, 94, 94, 193, Lone Star 1. This happened to happen in $128.9, $128.9, $28, 28, 29, money 9, 28, 29, 29, 30, 130, 131, 2, $2, $2, 3, 33, 32, 33, 33, 33, 132, Marty 25. It happened here, $2.40 and 52 and a half, 252 and a half, money 5, 55, 7, 62 and a half, 265, 7 and a half, 72 and a half, a bit of 5, a bit of 75, 275, 75, 75, 75, 75, 272 and a half, Marty 11. So one, big one. It's happened here, 290, now 2.5, 290, but the big one, 2.5, 295, now 2.5, now 7.5, $3, $3, 2.5, but a 5, but a 305, 7.5, 310, but a 12.5, 15, but a 20, but a 2.5, but a 325, but a 7.5, 330, but a 32.5, but a 35, but a 35, 35, 35, 35, 332 and a half, capital number 35. 7.5, 380, now 5, 380, now 5, 380 on the money, 5, but a 85, 390, but a 5, but a $4, but a 5, but a 10, but a 15, but a 20, but a 420, 415, 20, 20, now 5, but a 30, but a 430, 430, 425, D&D 34. Hey, they got them pretty good right here. 7.5, 240, now 5, money, 555, 65, 70, 275, 272 and a half, 272 and a half, 292, 272 and a half, 270, Nolan 27. Test it open. It's Abraham, 144.95, 144, 56, 46, 47, 147, 48, 148, 47, 48, $8, 48, 147, Lone Star. Abraham, 148.9, $148.9, 9, money 9, 51, 52, 53, 154, 55, 156, 7, 158, 59, 158.9, $158.9, 9, 58, 9, 158, Marty 17. Light bread, 133, 4. 133, now 4, money 4, 133, now 4, now 5, 135, 36, 7, 37, 38, 39, 40, 140, 140, 140, 139, Lone Star. Test it open. It happened at 145, $46, 145, money 6, 7, 47, 48, 49, $50, 1, 51, 2, 52, 52, 51, 2, 3, 52, 53, 52, 3, 33, 3, 3, 153, 152, Lone Star. 152, 152. Let's lead up on 146, 7, 146, 7, 7, money, 7, 8, 49, 49, 50, 150, 151, 51, 51, 51, 51, 51, 51, 51, 51, 151, 150, Lone Star. Short, solid, 6 months bread. 145, $146, $7 bit of $7, $7, 8, 48, 49, 50, with the 1, 2, with the 3, with the 52, 3, 152, 153, 153, 3, 3, 3, with the 3, 152, D&D 105. Okay, 6 months bread. What's short, solid? Solid mouth. Solid amount, 6 months bread, 145, 46, 7, 147, 48, 49, $50, 1, 51, 2, 52, 3, 53, 53, 54, 54, 55, 6, 7, 58, 59, $60, 1, able to 1, 2, able to 1, 2, 3, 64, 164, now 4, 163, show number 88, showed 88, shorts and broke, 4 months bread. 140 now 140 now 1. Ibit 1 on the money. 1, 2, 3, 4, 45, 45, 144 now 5, 144 now 5, 5, 5, 5, a save, a bit of 46, 145. Yes, sir. 45, 46, 145, 46, 146, 6 out of a 6, now 6, 145. Brandon, is that right? Brandon, thank you. Brandon. Okay, light bread. 7.5, 138, 139, 138, 941, 2, 3, 43, 4, 44, 43, now 4, now 5, 45, 44, now 5, 144, now 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 144, Lone Star. Broke mouth cow, 4 months bread. 7 and 138 9, $138 9, 9 money 9, 38 now 9, 38 9, $38 9, 9 40, 40, 140, 141, able to $1 42, day, bit of day, or 41 now 2, 141 D&D 104. Broke mouth cow bread. 145, $146. Buy the scale, 6, 7, 8, 49, 150, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 55, 6, 157, 58, 59, $60, $1, $3, bit of board, 65, 6, 7, number 7, $7, 167, 166, shoot number 88. One cow's crippled now. 7.5, $1 now 1, $1 now 1, dollar bills now 1, money 1, $1 now 1. $1, $2, $2, $3, $3, $3, $4, $5, $4, 5, 104 now 5, 5, 5, $5, $5, $5, 5, 104 Marty number 8. Marty 8. 133, 34, 133 now 4, 133 money 4, 33 now 4, 34, 34. You do it 4, 5, 35, 36, 136, 7, 138, 138, 37, 38, $38, $8, 137, Lone Star. Open. Young as she can be. 7.5, 116, now 2.5, 62 and a half, now 5, 5, 5, 7.5, 70, but 2.5, but 5, but 7.5, but 80, 182 and a half, 85, 87 and a half, but 187 and a half, 185, 7.5, 87 and a half, 87 and a half, 90, 190, 190, 2.5, but 925, but 95, 7.5, 197, $2, 2.5, but 2.5, $2, show number 8, show number 8. Open, 150 now 1, 150 on the money 1, able to $1, 2, 52, 3, 53, 4, 5, 55, 6, 7, 57, 58, 59, $60, $1, 1, 2, $1, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3, 62, 3, 3, 3, 3, 162, show number 8. 7 here, 2.90, now 2.5, 5, 7.5, $3, 2.5, 5, 7.5, 10, 12.5, 15, 3.15, 3.15, 12.5, 15, 15, 15, 15, 15, 15, 3.15, 3.12.5, D&D 93. Okay, you're buying two head. Any two. $2 now, two, now $2 now, two. $2 now, 2, 4. 2, 2, 204, 206, $208, $8, $8, $208. 208, 10, 210, 212, 212, 214, 214, 216, 218, 220, 222, 4, 224, 24, 6, 226, 8, 228. 228, any two, now 30, 230, 230, 230, 232, 222, but $234, but 34, 34, 236, 236, 36, 36, 36, 34, 36, 236, 236, 236, 236, 234, Ritter. Number 2. Ritter 2. Okay, save it here. $2 now 2. $2 now 2. $2 now money 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 218. 218, 218, 18, 20, 220, 220, 220, 220, 220, 220, 220, 220, 218. Shoat number 8. All right, boys, there's 7 head of them. They've been weaned 90 days. Had Triangle 10 and Covexon 8. So the steer, 305, 307.5, 305, 37.5, 305, 7.5, 35, 7.5, 305, money, 7.5, 37.5, 5, 7.5, steer on the scales, 37.5, 7.5, 7.5, 7.5, 305, D&D 94. Hold the tag. 7.5, $3, now 2.5, $3, 2.5, $3, 2.5, $3, 2.5, $3 now 2.5. You're buying two head. $3 now, 2.5. Money, 2.5. $3 now, 2.5. 302.5. 302.5. 2.5. 2.5. 2.5. 2.5. 2.5. $3 D&D 50. 7.5. 216 now, 2.5. Money, 5. 7.5. 70. 2.5. 7.5. 82.5. 85. 85. 2.5. 2.5. 2.5. 85. 85. 85. 280. 2.5. Nolan 26. Okay, any two you want. Hold one if you need to. 370, now 5. Buying 2 more. 370 on the money, 5. 375. 380. 80 but a 5. 85, 90. 90 but a 90. 90 but a 390. 2 or more. 90 and a 5. 395. 395. 95. 95. 95. 395. 95. 95. 95. 95. 390. Lady number 94. Show one by the scales. Hold it, hold it. A little pimp on the left side of his face. $3 now, 5. Money, 5, 10, 15, 20, 5, but a 30, but a 5, but a 3, 30, 5, 40, 5. 350, 350, 350, 350, 350, 350, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 350, 345 on the skills, lady 94. That's all of them. All right, next 7 head been weaned 60 plus days, had a 7-way shot. 7.5, 190, now 2.5, money, 2.5, now 5. 197.5, $2, 2.5, 7.5, 10, 12.5, 15, 17, 20, 2.5, 7.5, 30, but a 2.5, but a 5, but a 37.5, 40, 240, 2.5, but a 45, 245, 245, 245, 242.5, H71, H71. 7 here, 250, now 2.5, now 5, 7.5, 60, 2.5, 5, 7.5, 70, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 75, 7.5, 80, 2.5, 85, 85, 7.5, 90, 290, 2.5, 95, 97.5, $3, $3, 2.5, 302.5, 302.5, 302.5, 302.5, $3 shoat, 6. 250 now, 2.5, money, 5, 7.5, 60, 2.5, 5, 7.5, 70, 2.5, 7.5, 80, 280, 280, 2.5, 80, 2.5, 280, 2.5, 280, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 280, H number 71. $440 now 5, $440 on money 5, 55, 65, 70, 475, 80, with a bit of 480, 475, 80, 80, 80, 80, 480, you do it, 480, 85, 485, 485, 490, 490, 485, 90, 485, 90, 90, 90, 90, 90, 90, 490, 490, 485, Lady 82, 80, 81. All right, I guess that's it. That's all. Okay, more coming, more coming. Okay, 170 now, 2.5. 170 on money, 2.5, 5, 7.5, 80, 2.5, 85, 87.5, 187.5, 190, 190, 190, 190, 190, 190, 190, 187.5, shoat number 8, shoat number 8. Red heifer. Okay, 150 now 1. $150 one, 150 now one, money one, 151, 151, they two, 52, 53, 52, 53, 52, 3, 152, 3, 153, 153, everybody stand low, low, 53, 53, 53, 54, 54, now 5, 55, 6, 7, 8, 158, 9, 160, 60, 160, 159, show number 8. And I guess that's it. That's all. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you.